One of the things that we're always looking at how to demonstrate, it's the thing that happens like even when you go to film, but like definitely in writing, is how do you show the interconnected circles? How do you show the ecosystem of activism? And so part of this was wanting to create these banners in a way, first of all, like being life-size is really powerful. Watching people come in and interact and see it. We'll have a chance to hear from like what it was like for people from the community who didn't know their great-grandmother or grandmother was one of these people. So it was really powerful in that way. But that sort of ecosystem of activism, that relationality, these are all really important ideas in Indigenous research, methodology, practice, and interconnection. And we tried, and I believe we did a good job of having that demonstrated in the experience of the exhibit. One of the things that's important to note, and we'll talk about this a little bit as we go on, is that there's a handful of interviews in there with the women who are the absolute generators of the entire, movement that unfolds, who we know next to nothing about, and I interviewed them for my dissertation back all those years ago, and they're the only interviews that exist. So we were able to sort of snap into action when it became obvious that the 50th was coming up, and this was our chance to really create something from this content that we had. So with that in mind, we worked very closely with the organizing committee directly, which are some, the same historical actors, if you will, the same folks that we've worked with all along in creating the exhibit.
So in writing the women's biographies, we, in the cases where they passed on, we described them as they described themselves in their interviews. And then where the narrators were living, we worked with them and their families to write the biographies.
We could not find very basic information. I phoned relatives and I kind of got the runaround, but we pinned down these dates of the women.
Even now, what you'll see at the, in this sort of 50th remembrance is evoking women like Ellen Mooskamp or Geraldine Denise or Gladys Bissonnette as like, these are the women who held us to task. These are the women who, if hadn't said to us, take action, they'd still be meeting at Wounded Knee. And what we wanted to do, though, is, again, center their voices and not have them sort of set up as straw women, if you will, like where they're just sort of symbols, but like what are, to the best of our ability, their stories.